Oh, so I guess we got to go, huh?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Hello, welcome to the Horn Dawgs podcast.
Look at the camera if you're going to do the introduction.
Hello, welcome to the Horn Dawgs podcast.
You got to say your name, and then if you want to.
Okay. Hello, welcome to the Horn Dawgs podcast. My name's Jonathan Cerda Rowell.
And I'm Steve Hernandez, but you knew that. Come on now.
Horn Dawgs.
The strike is over. Yes. I'm very stoked, even though it has no direct impact on me. I will say that.
Well, you know I hook you up. I pay some of his bills and his rent and utilities, for my writing salary.
And I guess, if you guys didn't know, Jonathan is a writer on This Fool. And I guess it's happened early enough where we can start to promote the show now, right? As soon as SAG gets passed.
Yeah, because it's technically not over right now, but when this comes out, it will be over.
Yeah, they'll ratify it and everything like that.
Yeah, I can't unless something really fucks up in the deal, in which case you guys already know about it. So.
How excited are you?
I'm actually a little terrified. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna shake out. I don't know if Bob Iger's gonna axe the show. I hope he likes it. I would blow Bob Iger to have the show come back.
You'd probably blow him anyway.
Yeah, because he's kind of evil men. I think I'm attracted to evil men.
Well, too, for me, because I'm not as gay as you by a long shot.
Not at all.
But he's rich and he looks clean. I don't mind sucking a guy with a clean dick.
He has that Lysol dick.
Yeah. Where they're just all pampered and soft. I'll suck that dick. I don't care. Yeah.
And he has great Viagra, or what's that thing that you just inject into your penis?
You know better than I do.
I don't know. Porn guys
that's a
write
thing?
in. Yeah, for the porn people, when you've been on set for 8 hours, they put a thing, they inject something into your dick and it just makes it rock hard.
I'm sure Iger just uses Viagra.
No, I think he's using crazy lizard people.
Have you used Viagra before?
No, don't need it. You want to know why?
What?
I have edibles, and edibles make me so fucking horny. It makes me feel like a monkey that has a swollen pussy that just needs to be fucked. That's what edibles do for me. They're amazing. I mean, I'm still young.
Yeah. You're young.
But edibles just send me in a turbo drive.
If you've never used Viagra before, all it does is it just makes your dick the hardest it's ever been. You're like a young man again. That's all. And so it just makes you very hard, and you're just instantly hard, and it's cool.
But does it arouse you?
No, absolutely not.
See, edibles arouse you. They make you into this.
Yeah, that's why they don't have any.
beast.
I'm saying they have nothing to do with each other.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that you're sober because you can't. We've never done edibles together. We've never gotten
What do
horny
you mean?
together.
We could do edibles together. Are you serious?
Aren't you sober?
No, I never call myself sober.
Oh, you just don't drink.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Got it. I guess I don't know him as well as I thought.
Yeah. But we could do edibles, but I don't like doing edibles. I don't like weed. I feel trapped in my head.
Interesting.
Yeah. Julia's a big weed head.
Julia, do you like edibles? Mm-hmm. She likes edibles. Would you allow? Oh God, yeah. She's pregnant.
Do you get horny on edibles?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They don't make you into like a cat in heat. They make me. They turn me into some. Although I do last night I did 50 milligrams. That's
oh my
not
God.
and it wasn't even. I was literally it wasn't even that much for me.
Oh my God.
The high wasn't. Yeah.
If I do a tanner, I'm out of my mind.
I used to be that.
I'm laying on the ground. Yeah.
I used to be weak like you. I got lost in San Francisco once, and then I ended up at the Punchline, and I was not on the show or booked, and I didn't know anyone there, and I had a sandwich that I got from Whole Foods. And I went up to the bartender and I was asking people for a spot.
Oh my God.
And it's and it was on a night where it was we have a show. Because I'm so high out of my mind, and it gives you this type of confidence that you can just anything could happen. Because some edibles make you think I'm gonna accomplish my dreams and all that stuff. So I should take edibles and do other shit.
If you don't know, we're filming from Jonathan's. Jonathan lives in Glendale now, but for as long as I've known you, you just like to have your little quiet, weird, private gay life, doing weird shit by yourself.
But aren't I candid on stage? Aren't I like bringing
Sure,
everyone
but
into my gay life?
everything you just like to be very private, like to keep everyone out and do weird, I guess.
Who do I keep out? Look, you don't text me back.
Yeah, texting. I'm not a texting guy.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah.
Never text me back. I will text him monologue after monologue.
Well, that's the thing
monologue.
too. You're not asking me questions. You're just like stating your opinion in your mind.
The last thing I texted you, it was all like, well, yeah, I was stating my opinion,
yes.
but I'm wanting you to come back.
Then we'll have a conversation. Yeah.
Then voice memo me.
I don't not voice memo either. Cut the shit.
You are so
phone
old.
Call. I'll take a phone call.
That is so old.
I'll meet for lunch. I'll have a coffee.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You were born in 1945.
Close.
Yeah.
You said you had all this funny strike material. Where is it?
I don't know if I can talk about it anymore.
Okay.
It's
I
want to be hired after the strike. No, it's not. Now you built it up.
I didn't build anything up. You're the one who sent me a fucking monologue.
This was private.
Okay.
You can't do this. Imagine in stand up being like, guys, I'm about to tell you the funniest material. Everyone's like, we're not going to laugh at this.
You said, I've got some really great
yes,
strike.
to you in private, but we don't say
you got
that
nothing now?
in front of people.
You got nothing now? Take a swing, man.
I was caught unprepared.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm glad to be off the picket lines, and the actors. I think, I think they deserve to put in a little bit more time. we were at it like almost 3 months more than them. When they came on the scene, they were insufferable.
When did the strikes start?
May 2nd.
Oh yeah, I guess we did come in like July, right?
Like mid July or something. Yeah. Are you part of SAG?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had
Were you
to
on the picket line?
Haven't gone once.
Wow.
But everybody
you heard it here first. Steve Hernandez does not like unions.
You guys, they made you guys strike. They made you picket.
Yeah. They emailed us and they said you need to be on the picket line 3 days a week for 4 hours minimum.
Yeah.
Or we're going to castrate you.
Yeah.
They're like, I mean, they're scare tactics.
If they made me, I would go. But also now I am feeling the heat that I should go. Like next week, I think I will start.
Now that we're done?
Now that the writers are done.
Yeah.
So now that, because I do think it was mostly writers because they had to. But now I'm like, all right, I got to join my SAG brothers and sisters.
The actors are crazy, though. The actors are absolutely insane. Like the first day of the strike, there were like hot actor types. There were like people in like Superman outfits. It was like Hollywood and Highland just exploded. There were like people there with headshots and shit, and that's thinned out a bit. Like the hardcore actors are there, but then we have the megaphone people. The actors with the megaphones, they have been preparing all their life for women with megaphone at protests. Like that's what they're doing. The writers never used the megaphones. It was just they would like whisper into the megaphones. They'd be like, please throw your trash away. But the actors are like, get the fuck out of the street, bitch. Like they are the worst.
I got commercial headshots taken on Saturday, and it was like it was a deal. It was like a flash sale. They were like, oh, for $500 you can get 3 looks, which I think it's typically like $850 or something like that.
Yeah.
But you could tell it was this one day, and the guy like stacked them.
Yeah.
And it was like 80-minute session or whatever. So I got there, and he was a little behind, you could tell, and the person that was getting the pictures taken was like an older woman, and she was an actor, you could tell.
Yeah.
And she kept telling him, oh, can we change this background? She's like, oh, I'm gonna need a darker lip for this is kind of a night one.
She's a pro.
Not good.
Oh.
Like, just like she wanted it like too bad.
Oh, shit.
It was like that, the kind of actors you're talking about.
Oh God, as if that lip color is gonna make or break it.
Yeah.
Got it, yeah.
Which I try to with the industry too, with writing. I've got my pilot. I've my second pilot outlined, but I'm just so. The strike was great because I didn't have to think about it anymore. I just don't want it as much as these other people. These other people want it
to write or to succeed.
All
in
of
show
it,
business?
all of that. Yeah, they want it. My self-esteem is not on it. And I think that I have not placed it in comedy or entertainment because I know it's such a long shot.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be disappointed. Like I have a happy life. I'm talented at stand-up comedy. I think I could get talented at writing comedy, but these other people just want it so much more. I don't know if I have that in me to go after it that hard.
All of my self-worth
Yeah.
is tied into entertainment.
Yeah, see?
And if I don't succeed, I'm going to kill you and several other people before I kill myself.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if I
Because either way,
Yeah.
you will remember my name.
yeah, I just don't know if I have it in me to do that. But also, I do get mad when you see like these unfunny people pass you up and stuff. But I also just think to succeed in it, it doesn't have that much to do with how funny you are.
No, it never has.
Yeah. So why would I want to give my heart to something that is stupid? I already did that with Christianity. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, you were you were deep in that. You were a mega church pastor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that I've already bought into the Kool-Aid and realized how stupid it is.
Yeah.
I think the entertainment industry is also a racket that way.
Yeah.
But I do think you need to drink the Kool-Aid to succeed.
You need to play the game.
I don't mind playing the game.
Just for funsies?
Yeah, I play the game.
And then if you score big, then you score big.
Yeah, I mean, I get booked, Caleb Heron, he's booking me.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing better than me. See, the problem with me is I'm deeply unlikable. And so that's the issue,
Dude, I opened for Caleb last week, and Bryce Dallas Howard came up to us after.
Oh, yeah, Steve is so old.
Yeah.
Go on.
Why am I old?
Go on. Tell the story. You'll know why you're old.
No. So
he didn't know who Bryce Dallas Howard was.
I just didn't. You don't know. I guarantee you.
I absolutely do.
Yeah. I know who she was. I just didn't know it was her. So I know who she is. So
was she wearing a mask?
No,
like
it's just she just doesn't look. I think when people talk about Bryce Dallas Howard, like I think of her as the thick Jessica Chastain.
Right.
Yeah,
she is
that people do. Like, she's got a rump on her, and I'd say that in a very that's fucking sick. Like, I love a thick Jessica Chastain.
Yeah.
But
if I was a woman, I'd want to have a big ass.
Yes, absolutely. So
and big tits. Controversial. But if I was a woman, I'd want both big tits and big ass.
That's not controversial.
Oh.
Yeah. I want it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want it all. I want to be fucking. I want to be out there, just whoring myself out. Not even that. I love when I meet a woman that is like just fucking and like having sex with just different guys because they're like, hey, that's cool. I can.
Yeah.
I think women.
My mom did.
Is that true?
Yeah, she's always cucking my dad. No, my mom is like the sweetest. I don't want to say.
You said did. You said that's what my mom did.
Yeah.
So I was thinking before your dad.
It was also a joke.
Yeah.
No, my mom was fucking at 15, but that's just being Mexican.
My mom had my older brother when she was 15.
Yeah. With like a 27-year-old dude. Isn't that fucking gross?
Yeah, but that's how it was back then.
Yeah, my dad was hot. I'm just kidding.
It wasn't your dad, right? No.
No, it was another guy who did awful
things. Just
things.
like you last week. We talked about it.
What did we do?
You were fucking an older guy too.
Yeah. Me and my mom. Yeah.
You get that from your mom.
Yeah.
All right. So Caleb got off stage, and we were outside in this little patio, and then his manager was talking to him. He was just like decompressing and kind of like flipping out.
Yeah.
And then after a while, he's like, "All right, let's just go up there. There's people waiting for me." And so I went out there and
you like cold opened?
No. CG Farmer opened up, and then I did like 12 minutes.
Oh, cool.
And that Wednesday night was raucous. It was great. I was like murdering. But we walked out there, and there's like 15 people like want to talk to Caleb, and then this cute redhead woman comes up and starts talking to me.
Big ass.
And Julia, no, she's just a cute like redhead woman, and she's just like, ass. Oh my god. She's like, oh my god, I love you. That was incredible. And I was just saying, oh, thank you so much. I'm just so grateful Caleb lets me do it. Caleb's a beast. I love him. And she's like, Caleb's my friend, okay? I know that, but you were awesome. And she was like saying all these nice things. Then she was talking to us for like 10 or 12 minutes. So this is a long time. But I'm just talking to this nice lady.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, I'm like, is this Bryce Dallas Howard? You just don't expect for a star to be like talking to you and being so nice, because she was being very nice.
Yeah.
And warm. And then it's so funny too, because like I think it was her husband or someone like leaned in and said like, and she's like, oh no, I'm gonna tell them about that. And she's like, She's like,
Sounds like a woman in charge.
She's like, I'm going to tell him. She's like, I made a documentary called Dads. It's on Apple TV. You absolutely have to watch it. And she was like,
this is her energy?
Yeah. And she was like, I interviewed a bunch of comedians about being dads for the first time and everything like that. She's like, my brother was having a kid too, so he's in the documentary. And like I said, about 5-6 minutes in, I'm like, I think it just doesn't look like her on the. And she was being so nice. So I was just like, but Julia said she clocked it the whole time. Julia knew the whole time.
Yeah, because Julia is a young woman.
No, she's just good at knowing stars like that.
She's good at being born at a time that allows her to remember things.
Why do you act like I don't watch movies, you fucking loser?
Because you were talking to Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, she just didn't look like her. But you knew the whole time, Julia?
What did she look like, Julia?
She did look like Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah,
but,
I was like, what else could she look like?
I did go like, maybe I'm being like
a racist against whites.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I was like, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. So but then she goes. She was talking about that documentary, and she's like, I will tell you though. It starts off with like footage of me being born, and she's like, my dad's a director, and I was like, oh, you mean Ron Howard?
Did you say that?
No. When she said my dad's a director, I was like, it is Bryce Dallas Howard.
Got it.
And then later on, I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, Caleb was in the last Jurassic Park movie. That's why they're friends.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I was like, she got territorial about Caleb for a bit. She's like, yeah, I'm friends with Caleb. I already know.
Yeah.
Steve.
But she was super nice. That was great. It was very nice. But yeah, I guess these little moments, and then I'm headlining more, and then this month I made $1,200 from stand up.
That's amazing.
If you would have told us 13 years ago that for a month you would make $1,000 from stand up,
I would have shot myself in the head.
Well, you were a very sad kid.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah. So we are back here at the Horn Dawgs
John,
podcast.
you're terrible.
I am terrible.
Yeah.
I'm not a good host.
Yeah. Why don't you let me host then?
Well, because I was waiting and I was like, it was dead air.
Watch this. Hey, and we're back. We're here with Horn Dawgs. We are friends with this woman who's bisexual, and she's dating a bisexual woman. We went to their birthday party on Saturday.
Do I know these bi people?
Yes, you do.
Do I like them?
Yeah, you do. But me and one of them kind of always have this like fun, flirty energy. Mm-hmm. And at first, her girlfriend was jealous about it, and actually I think she still is, but she's kind of coming around. You could tell.
Right.
But at the party on Saturday, it was very funny because I would be sitting and talking to one of them, and they both were saying, yeah, we want to, I'd have a threesome with you, but the other one's jealous. And then the other one I would be talking to, and they go, yeah, we'd have a threesome with you too, but the other one is jealous. Oh. They were both saying this to me.
So they're rejecting you.
No, it's them. Like something's going on in their heads.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I did not bring up the threesome.
But it sounds like
I didn't bring up the threesome.
But it sounds like they're trying to reject you anyways.
No. I promise you, because I know this dynamic. Okay. Maybe I'm not explaining it well. I also don't want to give it away too much.
Right.
But yes, no. This is this is like their thing, because I would not bring up. You can't bring up a threesome to two women like that. I wouldn't do it.
Did you just say, "Hey, bitches, want to have a threesome"?
They both were saying that they would love to, but the other one would get too jealous. That's what they keep saying.
Got it. Yeah. How many threesomes have you had?
Sheesh.
Ballpark. Just so many?
10, 12.
Have you ever had a threesome with people that you know, or is it always strangers?
I've had group sex with people that I know.
Name names.
No, we're not naming. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wanted this podcast to be good and
yeah. Well, yeah. You
we
can't
need to destroy lives.
You can't name names for group sex.
We need to destroy reputations.
And then I've had, my ex and I, we dated a woman for 6 months together.
Was that Steph?
Why are you saying that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Leave the poor woman alone. She divorced me.
I miss her though.
Yeah, she's great gal.
Yeah.
But yeah, they mostly, they half the time go wrong.
Yeah.
Anybody who has a lot of sex is not a thing that's this is. At this point, I think it would probably be cool if it happened again. But I don't know. I mean, anybody, if you've had threesomes, they go wrong a lot of times.
Yeah.
So it's not worth it. I feel like you've fucked a couple for a while,
Yeah.
right?
I also just lied. I don't really miss her because I don't really think about her.
Yeah, see?
but I just wanted to say that to be nice.
Yeah, I mean, you said her name, so yeah, you got to try to be nice to her.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of threesomes. Actually, I had like kind of an orgy in Covina. That was one of my like greatest hit orgies.
How long ago?
Oh, long time ago, maybe 7 years ago. But that was like the most amount of guys. The other ones are just threesomes or like foursomes or whatever.
And they're fun, right? I think it would be different with gay guys because they know how to take the emotion out of the thing generally, right?
Yeah. Most gay guys are very broken, very sociopathic, very narcissistic in a clinical way.
Yeah.
Like we have grandiose ideas about things that aren't real. We are truly, most gay men are fucking mentally ill.
Yeah.
It's why I can't get along with a lot of other gay men because we're both mentally ill.
Yes.
And unless we're gonna fuck.
Now, do you think that's because you're sinning against God, or because society has like made you choke it down for so long that you couldn't be your true self?
Choke it down. Both, really. I do feel constantly that I'm engaging in an abomination against the Lord because this is a thing.
Have you ever had sex with a guy, like made love to a guy, and
yeah.
thinking like God's here, God loves this?
Oh no.
You've never thought that?
No, I always think like what demon has come into the room.
Do you know that this is the funniest
We clean
thing?
shit out of our assholes. That's why when you hate gay people, it's like, why? We already have it bad enough. The punishment is we have to clean shit out of our pussies every time we want to fuck.
Dude, one time I was in this men's like Bible group.
Yeah.
And this one guy was like, this was like when I had left the church. I must have been 23 or 24, something like that. But I still love these guys, and so I'd still come to this thing. I was kind of like...
I fucking love it. A men's Bible group.
Yeah. I was like still like leaving like my religion still. But I'll never forget, this was so funny. This one guy was like...
This is already hot.
This one guy was like, yeah, me and my wife, we were like starting to we were having sex. And he's like, then I felt like... There's so much like love there, and like a man and a wife having sex. He's like, I feel like we were doing spiritual warfare, like that the devil hated the sex we were having.
Right, because the devil's a gay guy.
No,
the devil's like, ew, is that her pussy? Ew, fucking gross.
There's so much love, and by fucking your Christian wife, that this was like God was loving it.
Yeah. This is why straight people are crazy.
Yeah.
Because they think that people care about their sex, but it's like you're just you pump a parasite into a woman and it sucks the life out of her. Your sex is in fact crazy. It's actually crazy if you think about straight sex and then giving birth. It's crazy. It's like a monstrous thing that happens.
Yeah.
Good luck, Julia. Jeez.
That's a fat stomach. It's getting fatter and fatter.
What do you now you're excited. You posted a thing recently about your daughter being an Italian.
Yeah.
Now why would you be excited about that?
I'm not excited about that.
Okay.
I didn't say I was excited. I was just thinking, I really was awake. I woke up in a dream and I was like, Julia's 100% Norwegian. I'm a quarter Italian. And I was like, there is a chance. And my mom said this. I don't know if I said in the last podcast, but my mom did say my daughter is going to be white. So she might end up looking Italian.
Well, if you're a quarter white and Julia's fully white, then your daughter will be 2/3 white.
Yeah, but this dark skin rules all. So
yeah. But I've seen some dark-ass Mexican fools, darker than you, have a white-ass kid. And with like a light-skinned Mexican chick.
One time I was with dating a woman, and then she was starting to hang out with this other woman.
Yeah.
And the person I was dating claimed to be bi, but I don't think she was really bi. She was bi like I'm bi, but the other woman seemed kind of gay, and they would go to workout classes together. They were hanging out a lot.
Yeah.
But they were like nothing was ever happening.
Okay.
And I told the person I was with, I said, you've got to make the move. You're with someone.
Yeah.
She's not going to do that, but she knows how we are, so you should do that. And she's like, no, I'm not going to. I'm not gonna. And I was like, come on, you're being stupid. And she was very like submissive and passive. And she's like, no. I was like, okay, whatever. That's your thing. So at like a week later, we're all hanging out. And then the person I was with goes to sleep in the girl's bedroom. And then me and the woman start kind of like talking and flirting.
Yeah.
And then we start hooking up.
Yeah.
And I thought she was completely gay. I didn't know she was bi.
Right.
And so I'm hooking up, and in my head I was like, oh, she said, she doesn't want anything to do with it anyway, so it's fine. So me and this woman have this really great, really, really good long sex where we simultaneously orgasm, which, that's happened to me maybe the only time that time.
Magic.
Yeah.
That's when you know God is in there. Yeah.
So the next day I tell the person I'm with, oh, yeah, this happened. And I can't tell now if she was bothered by it or not.
Yeah.
But she's like, all right, well, that's just going to be your thing then. And I was like, well, don't be like that. She wants to be with you, but she didn't know. And she's like, I don't know. But then it kind of like it's in the air. I was like, oh, we're going to have a threesome now. So me and that woman hook up like a couple more times. And then it's New Year's Eve. And I'm working at the Chatterbox, and they're hanging out together. And then I'm going to go meet them after. And I'm like, this is going to be the time where we hook up. So I don't drink that night.
Wait, are they hanging out at the box?
No. They're at her house.
Okay.
The
I
woman's
thought they were
house.
just eyeing you from across the bar.
No. But I knew I was going to meet up with them after. So I'm not drinking, and I'm like, closing up at 2:05, you know what I mean? Running to her house. So we go to the woman's house, and they're there drinking wine. They're watching Deadwood.
That is kind of a hot show to watch. It's like dirty and fucking nasty and
everyone's kind of hot in that show.
Yeah.
Sexy, sweaty.
Yes, yeah.
And so I like down a glass of wine and stuff, and I'm like, let's do it, let's go. So I had this like a few mind-blowing sessions with this woman. So to me, I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fucking incredible. I love it. She had her bed pushed against the wall. You know how people do that sometimes?
Yeah.
And so you could only get out one side. So I just like dove in, I'm like, let's go, baby. Yeah, this is it. And then they started making out. And they just kept making out and like hooking up. And they just kept hooking up and making out.
And you were you were cucked by two lesbians, basically.
Well, they had all this sexual tension built up for 6 months. I thought because me and this woman had had this mind-blowing sessions that we were just going to all tie into it. But I could have just as easily not been there.
So were you just taking your dick out and kind of like suggesting it on the side of the bed?
Well, this is funny. So they start like lay down beside me and they're like hooking up. Here's a really funny thing about this woman's apartment, she had like a back house thing, is you needed a key to get out even.
Oh.
So they're hooking up next to me and I'm like laying there and I feel awful. If you've ever been like in this situation at a threesome, because I'm like,
Never.
I wish I wasn't here.
I'm always the star.
Yeah. See, you're a young man. You got a great piece on you. But I tapped them and I said, hey, guys, I know you probably don't realize you're doing this, but you're leaving me out. So if you could please include me, that'd be really cool.
Oh, God, what a buzzkill.
I mean, that I'm sure they thought that too. But they're like, oh, sorry. They like laugh a little bit. And so what happened was that the girl I was with at that time, they kept doing what they're doing, but she would just pat my arm every now and then.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
I'm telling you, it must have lasted. The sun came up, so
because you were there for lesbian sex.
Yeah,
and it just lasted and lasted and lasted.
Yeah, and I'm brokenhearted that the person I'm with like just did not care about me at all. I was right there. I mean, I'm like brokenhearted. But that other girl, the girl who had joined us, she was kind of mean too. But at some point, I'm like, hey, can you just let me out? Can you let me out of the gate?
And she like comes up, she like wipes off.
No, she was like, are you serious? She was like pissed, and I was like, yeah.
And you'd been there for hours.
Yes.
And she had the audacity to be like, are you serious?
Yeah.
You don't want to keep watching us have sex?
Yeah, and I was just like, can you just let me out? And she was like, fine. And so she let me out, and then I went back to my place. This was I was living in Pasadena, and this is for real. I mean, I'm like, my heart's broken. It's funny now, obviously, and I obviously wouldn't take it so personal
Still
now.
kind of sad.
Yeah. But I'm laying there, and I'm like drunk, but I'm sad. It's like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And I hear like big band music playing because for the Rose Bowl, so like marching band music playing.
Yes.
So I'm just like laying there, and I hear like dun 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 dun, dun, and I'm just like so sad, so sad. I felt like the woman, that teacher who blew up in the Challenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like like going into the threesome, I was like, I'm gonna be exploring all these new worlds and stuff.
And then you just went down in flames.
It just blew up. And later on,
Yeah.
the person I was dating, and then that girl came over to me, and they were like, "You don't have a right to be mad," and like all this stuff, and I'm just like,
Oh my god. This is why I don't fuck women.
Yeah.
This is exactly why I don't fuck women. They are evil, mean creatures who just have sex in front of you and don't include you. That's what I got from that story.
Oof, man, it's so funny. I'm like telling the story again. I feel like bad again, and I've had so much sex and more threesomes afterwards and everything. But that one was like, ooh, man, that was I think that might be the only one where I like was hurt by it. Now I'm like, I get it. I understand. I wouldn't take it as personal.
Yeah.
I'm polyamorous. But then I did not understand that. I didn't even. Yeah. Now I hope that I would laugh at it still, but
No, it hurts.
yeah.
Sexual stuff can bruise your ego. Once I did Molly at Pride, and I went to this like loft in downtown with this like hot guy.
Yeah.
And when you do Molly, sometimes you can't get it up, and
Yeah.
I couldn't get it up. And he knew that I was on Molly,
Yeah.
but I was still embarrassed. So I made sure to come back the next night so I could show him that I could get it up. And
Yeah.
then we had sex. And he was like, "You didn't need to come back." And he was like, "I'm glad you did." Like we had
Wait a
sex
minute. You came back to where?
to his apartment the next night.
Oh, so that I thought you said you went to a warehouse.
No, his loft.
Oh.
We went to his loft, yeah. And I couldn't get it up, and I came back the next night. And he opened the door, and I already had my hard dick out.
Yeah, me and Richard Bain we'd always like, he'd come over and we'd be both wasted, and then we'd like do a bunch of Molly together.
Yeah.
Just rubbing our fat bodies together. And there'd be times where he's like, "Hey man, we can't, our dicks just aren't getting hard right now."
Yeah, because Molly fucking...
I'd be like, "Come on, put it in, put it in."
Yeah.
He's like, "I can't."
Did you know that like a week after Richard passed away?
Yeah.
I was...
Died by his own hand?
Yes. He killed himself. Or he unalived himself.
Yeah.
I don't get these new terms.
Well,
These
they're just trying to beat the algorithm. Because if
Oh,
you say
okay.
those things, then the Instagram or TikTok won't. So they say these things. That's why they write segs, like,
Oh, got
it's
it.
just to get around the algorithm. Because
Got it.
they'll like bury your numbers.
So then what do you say for giving birth? Or is it like
You say giving birth.
Oh, okay.
Because there's nothing evil or bad about that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
A
week
what about
before.
unpussying yourself? My daughter unpussied herself. It is kind of that, right? She climbed out.
I'll make sure to spread that with your folks.
No, but a week after he had killed himself, I was working on a burrito truck in like the Arts District of LA, and the guy who I was working with, he was asking me why I was so down, and I told him like, a friend of mine had killed himself.
You got to stop saying that. What don't you understand about?
Oh shit! He unalived himself.
You could say died by his own hand. I think it sounds better.
Died by his own hand. I don't understand. Look, I just talk, man. No, he was like, wait, who is this? And I started to describe Richard a bit, and he was like, oh my god, he's one of my fuck buddies.
Yeah.
And I was like, he is? And he was like, yeah. He's like, I haven't seen him since the pandemic started, but we were like, he was a regular fuck buddy. And I really thought he was so sweet and sexy, and we just had that relationship. He pulls out his phone,
Yeah.
and on his phone is a video of Richard with his really nice dick jacking off.
Yeah.
Like Richard's naked
Yeah.
with his dick. I mean, I'm watching my dead friend posthumously come.
Yeah.
And I was so happy for him.
You should have got that video.
I know.
We could put it on the Patreon.
I know. That was hilarious.
Watch our dead friend jack off to completion.
Nice piece.
That's a nice piece.
Yeah, now it's worm food, but
We'll be right back. Went to one of my uncle's funerals on Thursday, right down right here in Glendale, the Forest Lawn.
Oh, that's where my grandparents are buried. And Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and Michael Jackson.
Yeah. They're buried in the same plot, actually.
With your grandparents.
Mm-hmm. It's my grandma, my grandpa, and then Michael Jackson right at the top.
Now, this uncle hasn't really been in our life that much. This is my pervy uncle. Do you have a perv uncle?
I have a perv cousin who's as old as a fucking uncle. You know what I mean? And I knew you guys, this guy didn't mean that much because when I saw the picture online, all of you were too happy. They were literally like, at the funeral, they were like,
I wouldn't have
happy.
taken the picture, but my cousin Maria was like, the cousins are never together. Let's take the picture. But we were all
kind of inappropriate. How happy
we were all kind of distant from him because tell me about your pervy uncle cousin.
Curvy. Yeah, I have a second cousin who's like kind of like an uncle, and he is gay.
Yeah.
And I never met him, and he always lived. I grew up in Eagle Rock, and he lived in Highland Park, and I didn't meet him until later in life. But he was like in the art scene, like he was part of like all this like Chicano art movement. Like he knew Gronk and all those types of people, if you know what that is, whatever.
Baby Grunk?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go on.
Oh no, but he, we were like all just getting back in touch, and then my mom found his record online that he had been arrested several times over the decades for possession of child porn.
So why was your mom looking for that?
Because my mom is someone who looks for shit like that. Right? She's always
combing for the sex crime records.
Oh yeah, and she's always like worried about everything. Like I went to Hawaii recently, and she'll like text me, and she'll be like, I saw this thing where there was a crack in the window of the airplane, and this woman, she basically flew out of the airplane, and her head was hanging out of the plane the whole flight, and she died. So don't sit by the window. And I'm just like, okay, great, thanks, Mom. Like I can't do anything about that. If I'm gonna die on a plane, it's just gonna happen. You know? But she found that he had been picked up for it in like 73 at one point in the 90s and at one point in the 2000s, and he says he was framed. But it's like, bro, 3 times. Also, in the 70s and the 90s, that was like before the internet. So you're having to actually like get the pictures from like mailed to you and shit. And it's not on they're all on hard drives now.
Yeah, and it must have been so flagrant for the government to be able to catch him even the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he was framed. I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But
I hope I don't get framed like that.
But my mom is so not everyone. He's estranged now from the rest of the family because
Yeah.
we're Mexican. We have a ton of kids in our family, right?
So they actually did kick him out for this.
Oh
like,
yeah,
in the family.
he's not allowed at all because there's so many kids around.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Also, when I was talking to him, this is why I don't think it's
When did
lie.
you talk to him?
Maybe 2018 was the
How?
last time
What'd
I
you
talked to
do?
him. We just went out to a diner.
Okay.
So
And this is the first time you're meeting him.
yeah,
Like basically a gay uncle, a forefather to you. Yes.
who was like involved in the art scene and everything,
Yeah.
and I don't know he's a pedophile. And of course it's the fucking gay uncle who ends up being a pedophile.
Yeah.
Even though most pedophiles are straight, you sick fucks. But yeah, and then he said something about how he was like, oh, back in Michoacan we have you have a bunch of cousins, and they're like very like güero, they're very white, they have like blonde hair and green eyes, and the boys, they're about 15 and they're so gorgeous. I mean, my God. And he just went on and on about how our cousins that we're blood related to back in Michoacan are like gorgeous teenage boys. And I was like, oh God.
So your pedo uncle is so pedo that in this brief an hour conversation,
Yeah.
he can't help but let it drip out.
Yes. Yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks to be that pedo.
And get this, before we found out he was pedo,
Yeah.
he had given us a stack of his self-published children's book.
Oh no, what's it called?
I don't know. It was something indigenous, but it was like Eat Sell Goes to the Market. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was beautifully. The art was beautiful. He illustrated it, and it was beautifully written. And I was like, it's because it's good. It's more evil.
My
Because
my
it's
uncle
like-
the homo.
Yes, not the homo pedo. And
No,
so-
that was the name of the children's book. My
Yes.
uncle the homo.
Yes.
My uncle the pedo.
Yeah, to explain to kids why you can't talk to Uncle Sam anymore or whatever. But his brother, Javier, is a gay man too. So I have another old-ass uncle that I haven't met, and he like lives in San Diego, I think. But apparently when this pedo shit went down in the 70s, he like cut off ties with him.
Yeah.
And he's always like, oh, my brother won't speak to me, and I don't know why, and I think he's because he resents me for blah, blah, blah. And we're just like, I think it's because you're a pedophile. I think that's it.
Well, my uncle was not that bad, but he would say crazy shit.
Yeah.
And he added... it's so funny because my brother Danny accused me. We were having dinner like a couple weeks ago. And Danny was like, I don't know, Steve. He's like, I think he just said stuff. Some of the stuff he said you would say. And I was like, well, maybe he's not that. So like when Facebook first came out, he added all his like nieces and nephews. And then he would just write shit like, this is for real. He would write, I love like camel toe in the morning, or I just love gorgeous camel toe, or something like that.
Well, that's harmless.
Well, it was just a family, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, fam.
And it's so funny though. My dad would talk about this stuff, but to me, I'm like, okay, this is hilarious. Yeah. I guess I remember it happening a little bit, but and then another one. And my dad still, when he says this, he goes, because my dad just says the same stories over again. He goes, and then he wrote, whores are my heroes. And my dad's like disgusted by this, but I'm also like, that's pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. And they are heroes. They're doing good work.
That's what I'm saying. This is the same uncle who pulled me aside. I must have been 22 or 23. I was out of the church, but it was Christmas, and he's like, Steve, come, let me talk to you up front real quick. And he's like, I'm gonna give you something that like really means a lot to me, and it's really helped me or whatever. I thought he was gonna give me like a weight loss book. But he gave me a fat stack. He loved burning, like when DVDs first came out, he would like give us stacks of movies. Like, here's all these movies, burn DVDs. Right. But it was a big stack of like CD-ROMs full of like beautiful like Japanese porn. So like Japanese women like by waterfalls. I could see how one would think it's art. And he's like, I think this is going to really touch you, you know?
He really thought it was a classy gift.
Yeah. It's not like real pornography,
right.
I guess. But all these things wrapped together. My dad said at one time, you got to stop doing this. And he called my dad like, you're being an old woman or something like that. You're being just a like stupid like grandma or something like that.
Yeah.
And so my dad like wrote him off. So we all kind of, a couple of the key brothers kind of like said, you can't come over anymore. Oh yeah, I guess too, at a family like party or Christmas thing, everyone's kind of talking, and he said, I don't want to say his wife's name, but he said, "Oh, I can't believe her name's not Mary." But he's like, "I can't believe after all these years, I could still make Mary come so much, you know, that kind of thing."
Holy shit!
Like at a family event. So,
right.
So to this, he's just like a perv, and everyone's like, "All right, you know, we're done with this guy."
I don't know. Is he a perv or is he just kind of open?
Here's so we go to the funeral. And it's packed, which surprises me because, like I said, to me...
That does not surprise me. A horny, sexy guy like him. It's packed. Packed, baby.
I think I saw your uncle there. Yeah. Your cousin.
I'm in the back in a veil. You know?
Yeah, so it does surprise me. And, you know, I didn't even know if I wanted to go to this. We almost didn't. But I did. My sister kind of made my dad go. So I'm like, if my dad's going... We'll go. Some of my cousins are going. So my whole family ended up being there. My brother Joey, Danny, his wife, all we were all there, but it was packed. And so here's the thing: he had married a Salvadorian woman, and my aunt got up there and said some things. My uncle got up there, said some things. They were like talking about him in high school and shit. Nobody's saying this, but then this other side of the family gets up, and so I guess he had been his wife's family. He like brought them over here and was like the greatest uncle ever.
See?
No. There's just like everyone was like he had two nephews go up to speak, and they were like, he was always there for us. He helped us out to help get our family on the feet. He was like so funny. But they both also said, you know, he always said crazy shit. They like alluded to that, and the whole place would like laugh. And I was like, dude, that's so crazy to me that the uncle that I have written off as my pervy uncle is like this great, generous guy with these people. And because my dad is real uptight about sex. I know a lot of that comes from like on his side, they had an uncle that would molest people. I think that's why people are uptight. Latinos are uptight a lot about sex is they've had molestation. So they kind of like, I know my dad for sure, almost like sex is like, He's got that all mixed up together. So
Yeah.
he thinks it's like shameful in a lot of things, like
Right.
sex stuff. So I'm like, this other family was able to kind of just laugh at what he said. Maybe because they needed him so much, so there wasn't a position of power or anything like that.
Or maybe it was because he could make them all come. You know? Did you ever think of that?
No.
This is what family does for family, Steve.
Yeah.
You have never made me come, and I resent you for it.
Yeah. Well, we can fix that on the Patreon.
No, you're not that gay.
Yeah, I know.
I wish you were gayer.
I know. I wish my wife was gay. You know how many threesomes we could have?
Yeah, you guys are too straight.
Yeah.
You're too fucking straight.
I know. I mean, I hope before I die that I can have some more sex with men. I mean, I had sex with like 40 guys. What do you think that was about?
Could you loop that, Julia? Just, I hope before I die we can have more sex with men.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be.
If I was having sex in a group, if I was having group sex, I would want to suck cock, and I would love to get fucked by a cock again. This is
that too.
this loop that. Send that to my mom.
I would love to get fucked by a cock again.
Yeah, I would love all those things. It just hasn't come up, and I don't know if it will come up.
Yeah.
Unless we get super rich and successful, and then we're like elite level, like group sex stuff. You know, the stuff you don't hear about.
Yeah, we could just have a harem of like, starving twinks.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was also kind of inappropriate when I was a kid.
Yeah.
He was so stoked for me to be into pussy.
Yeah.
When I was like 10, he was like telling me about the clit.
Yeah.
And like how to please a woman and stuff like that. He was and I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And I did not want any part of it. And he was always just like making sure that I knew like where the clit was and all that stuff. And
that seems like a good teacher. That's a generous dad. That's
Right.
cool. Yeah. Except you're gay.
Exactly. He was so devastated, because he's so straight. He was just a poon hound in his younger days. But every 7 years, I have the overwhelming urge to fuck a woman. What are your thoughts on that, Steve?
You should do it, and there's be plenty of women.
But it passes too quickly. It's like it needs to happen within the hour, or I'm not straight anymore.
Well, I think we got to start calling you bisexual. That's what I think.
Once every 7 years, and I'm suddenly bi.
Well, I think you need to fuck a woman once every 7 years, and you should try to get them pregnant.
I should try to get a woman pregnant.
Oh yeah, that seems like that kind of animal.
So I'll be open in the ad. I'll say like a gay man looking to have sex with a straight woman who I'm trying to get pregnant.
No, don't put out an ad. You have enough girlfriends where let them know.
No, you need to let them know, hey, I'm trying to get you pregnant.
No, just say, yeah, hey, I'm around, and the year's coming up. I feel like this is year 6 next year. If you want it, be on call. Get them beepers.
Yeah. Yes, I need a beeper.
Yeah, get them beepers and say it's time, and then they come over.
Yeah.
And you just fill them up with your big, because you're a good looking Mexican guy. You're tall. That's good sperm. TV writer.
Yeah. It's I was rejected savagely from the sperm bank, but because I fuck men.
Yeah.
They don't like it when you have sex with men. They rejected me instantly. And yet then they got the Ivy League guy, the tall white straight guy.
Yeah.
And then he was a popular sample.
Yeah.
Like hundreds of kids born in North America and the UK. Guess what he turned out to be? Fucking serial killer.
Pedo.
And probably a pedo.
My pedo uncle.
My pedo uncle, yeah.
Hey, thank you guys for watching Horn Dawgs. Thank you for listening to Horn Dawgs. Follow us at Horn Dawgs. Actually, we got to create all this stuff.
You really wanted to end on pedophile uncle.
Yeah. But find me at Big Hern on Twitter, Herny on Instagram. John, where can they find you?
Instagram, Jonathan Cerda Rowell. That's it.
All right, and we will see you next week. Oh.